Hi, I'm Max Brantley. It's Tuesday, July 29th, and I'm here to talk about news in Arkansas today. Headline news for me is actually out of Louisiana. The Fifth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals has struck down a Mississippi law that was aimed at closing the last remaining abortion clinic in Mississippi. The artifice was to say that the doctors have to have admitting privileges at local hospitals. None of the hospitals would give those doctors admitting privileges. This is of interest in Arkansas because Arkansas, too, is down to one single abortion clinic, and the Arkansas legislature is now strongly anti-abortion and is always looking for new ways to legislate curbs on the practice. Coincidentally, this ruling comes today with the endorsement of Republican Tom Cotton, the candidate for U.S. Senate, by a couple of right-to-life organizations. He supports a bill, which I believe is unconstitutional, that would ban abortions after the first trimester. That's well before the viability of the fetus standard that currently prevails in federal law. He actually is much more radical than that and favors a personhood amendment that would extend protection at the moment of fertilization, which would create a whole number of issues. This may be an issue in the Senate race, it may not be. It could go both ways. Mark Pryor has been reluctant to advance with Tom Cotton the bills that he favors on anti-abortion objectives. Elsewhere in the news today, Asa Hutchinson is still battling reports that he was a cheater on his property taxes by doubly claiming a homestead property tax exemption. He's decided to go on the offensive by saying, gee, Mike Ross is criticizing him, although he fessed up and reported his error and paid at least some of the money he was due that he got improperly. Well, Asa Hutchinson found his error because he was cleaning up his record to run for governor. He wouldn't have confessed this mistake otherwise. There's a fascinating report that became available yesterday from the State Ethics Commission that gives a real window into the world of campaign finance. It arose from the investigation of Judge Mike Maggio in Conway and contributions he got from a nursing home operator. But it gives you a real window behind the scenes of political consultants, money raising, and how some very rich people can spend a great deal of money on a handful of candidates. I've printed the entire report, and it's good reading for political junkies. The New York Times gave Arkansas some unwelcome national attention. It was about how BB has harassed a man who's a pagan priest and who's been prevented from having a church and business in his home in BB, he thinks because of Christian opposition. Check our blog later this afternoon. Benji Hardy's going to report on the final decision on new insurance rates for school employees and public employees in Arkansas. They may be modestly better, but I still don't think they're going to be good enough to save these insurance systems from a massive reworking from the legislature. Finally, a little more news on the minimum wage front. Take a look at our blog for a story about Ted Strickland, the former Ohio governor, who tried to live for a week on the minimum wage, which, by the way, is $7.25 an hour in Ohio. For some people in Arkansas, it's as low as $6.25 an hour. He ran out of money 3 days before the week was over. I challenge anybody to give a try at what he did and then say Arkansas shouldn't raise the minimum wage. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.